Hey everyone, I'm just doing some caps for a customer. For those who aren't familiar, I'll just share a couple of the pitfalls that you need to sort of watch out for the way I do it. I'm not saying my way is the right way, but it certainly works for me. So let's have a quick look, see what I can do. So we've got our jig mounted to a solid surface. Here's the collar that you're going to put your cap onto. So hopefully you'll be able to see this cutout will locate onto a male section there. So just slide it over, line the male and female cutouts out, and just snap it on. These spring clips hold it in place nice and snug. So this particular Beechfield hat that I'm using doesn't have any sort of additional support inside, so I'm going to use a piece of tearaway just doubled up. So that just wants tucking on there. So we'll just move the sweatband out of the way. So I don't know if you can see that. Just pull it sort of down, and then put your cap over the jig. Make sure the sweatband goes under this plate that's there to help line it up. So sweatband under, just fiddle it in. Pull the cap over the legs that are stuck out at the bottom. On this side there is the hook for the clamp to fasten onto. So put that on there, cap over or strap over. Right, so just had a customer. Anyway, put strap over. What you're looking for is for the strap to go snug to the peak in the seam that runs around there. So if you just slightly have this centre seam round to the left, because as you pull the strap on, it will sort of line it up a bit better. So put your hook or the loop over the hook. Make sure it's pulled something like, and then snap it into place. So that's nice and tight on there. If your metal band isn't close to the peak, just undo it and reposition it. If you're new to it, it can be a bit tricky, but just persevere, you'll get there. And pull these nice and tight. Bulldog clip on. And then this one. So you're aiming to pull this sort of down so it's not fully floating. And bulldog clip on that side. Press both tangs there, it'll release. Cap is now ready to go on the embroidery machine. Just make sure your backing's something like not scrunched up or whatever. But yeah, that's ready to go. So I'll move on to the next step. Right, so I've just completed one of the hats. I'll take that off the machine now and then load the one up that we've just put on the jig. So to release, the jig's got 2 tangs, this has got 3. So press all 3, swing the hat around, and that's one out. So the actual frame has got the same male section for the jig to line up to. So here's the one that we've just put on there. So put put it in so the peak's obviously not going to foul, and as you spin it round it's just lined up with that little tapered wedge. So if we snap it on, right, this piece is really, if out of anything on this video you take one thing from it, this is key. So as far as I know, all the machines, these tangs, there's 3, you need to make sure they're fully home. Sometimes it'll feel like they are. What I normally do is grab the back of the actual cap frame and squeeze that and then pull it, make sure it's really located in. That one's just gone a long way more and the bottom one's just clipped extra. If they're not in, the cap will float about and your registration will be out straight away. You'll never get a good result. So that's the actual cap on the frame, all nice and secure. What I do now, I've already marked the little white dot slap bang in the middle of the seam is 15mm from the peak up, which is what the customers asked for. So the base of the design is 15mm up from the peak. So don't use your red LED if you've got it turned on, because depending how thick the material is that you're working on will give a different sort of registration with that, because it comes from, this is your LED light and it's at an angle, so the thicker it is alters where it actually shines on your work. So what I do to make sure we get that right is on the Tajima, press F4, your top display is press a foot up and down, so just toggle with your wheel till it says down, press set, as if by magic your press a foot has come down. So now the middle of your presser foot, the little hole, needs to line up with the seam and that dot. So what we do, it won't adjust while the presser foot window's open, your F4, so just escape out of it. Zoom in so you can see what I'm doing. Right, if you press the green button, that'll slow down your inching on your stepper motors, and then it's scrolling around now just by simply using your arrows. So that's just a little bit too far back, a little bit, and then in and out with your up and down arrows. So now the hole in the presser foot is slap bang above the seam and the white dot, not that you can see it there but I can see it, and your red dot is all the way over here. So that's just one way I use to sort of set the registration up. Now you hear people saying that they have all sorts of trouble with caps, breaking needles and whatever. Touch wood, I haven't had too much trouble. It's one thing that you can't rush, so I set my speed to 400 revs and don't seem to have much trouble. So as you can see, the presser foot's still down. So if we press F4 again, back onto the presser foot, toggle it for up this time, and if I press set, there it is, it's gone up. So, and then escape out of that. Now if you're not sure of your design, I've run quite a few of these already, but I always recommend, if you're not sure, to do a trace. And on this machine, D1, your top option. Option 1 is trace. So set to acknowledge. Use your toggle wheel again to low and press set again and it will do your trace. So you can make sure it's not going to run into your peak and too far off the top of your hat. So that one, as I say, I've done a few, so I know it's right and it's ready to run. So escape, out of that window, out of that window. As you can see, this one's quite a long design for a cap, 7 minutes 15. That's sort of estimated run time at that speed. We're already set up for caps. The design's spun 180 degrees, so it's like upside down as you view it, but it will stitch right on your cap because obviously your cap's facing away from you. So although it's orange on here, that's just so I can see it a bit clearer. Needle 2 is actually white. So other than that, we're ready to go. So green button, start, and there we have it. So while this cap's stitching, the one I've just taken off, still on the jig. So take the bulldog clips off this one. Make sure you hold the steel band when you release it, because it will want to smack you in the face and it does come a bit keen. So just have your thumb on it until you release it. Band away. There we have it. So pull your tearaway off, comes off really easy. Sweat band back down. And that's ready for the customer. So we'll carry on. As I say, this one's stitching out. I'm changing the design on the next cap, but I can load the next cap onto the jig ready. The idea with these, especially the single heads, is keep the machine stitching, so if you can sort of prep the next garment, hoop it or put it on a cap jig, then you're obviously saving time. Switch one out, set it up and away it goes. So So as you can see, this is stitching out quite nice. And just by how you create your digitising, it makes it look quite organic, this one, using satin stitches, which again is what the customer was looking for. And there we go, that's that one done. So take it off, release the 3 clamps, just spin it round, and that's out, ready for the next one. So that's this design done. So to put it onto a different design, for those that aren't sure or don't know, into A. Now I've already done stitch outs to make sure I'm happy on flats, just so a customer can have a look at them as well. So my designs are already in, so I'm on memory section, set, and then my next one, I've already done the bonsai caps, just completed the cloud ones, so I'll do the astronaut one next. Set, yeah, originate it, and another one 7 minutes long, but again, starting your embroidery like at the bottom of the design and in the center, so that's going to be near the peak of the hat. Again, 15mm up from the peak, which I've measured and marked on the cap. So that one's ready to run. While that one was stitching out, this cap, next one's ready to roll. Just in case I put it on, set it up like we did the last one. Job's a good one. Hopefully you'll have learnt something from that. Thanks for watching.